everybody, this is Rose of Sharon, and I'm back again with another movie review. I just recently saw Call of the Wild, which starred Harrison Ford. I didn't know any of the other actors who were in it, but this really leaned upon CGI heavily, and yeah, there were some issues with that CGI, but it was actually really quite beautiful to look at, and it's a wonderful film, and I had to put it up there with one of my favorite films, and I think it's quite possible. Other than Onward, I'll have to say it's the best movie I've seen thus far this year. It's based on Jack London's book of the same name. That's the first book that he actually published. Having read the book as a child, I don't know how accurate the portrayal is, but I loved it. I loved every second of it. I thought it was a beautiful movie, just gorgeous to look at. The characters were engaging. Buck himself was just absolutely sensational, CGI or not. I mean, you have to give him credit for that. Just his expressions, the way that he interacted with different characters was just something of a wonder, I thought. Just how well they did that, how well and natural, how organic it looked on the screen. I'm going to have to give the movie 2 thumbs way up and 5 stars hands down, just because of, well, I'd give it 4, just because my only nag was the fact that the CGI was a little bit clunky at times, and you could tell certain scenes were done with the aid of computer-generated graphics. Of course, there was another scene with Poirot, when we meet Poirot, that he already knows Buck's name, and you think, well, how the heck do you know Buck? He wasn't even introduced to you. And I don't think he had his collar on, so that part was a little bit of a plot hole, and it's not a glaring nag, but it's noticeable enough that it makes you think, yeah, I think that they forgot to have Poirot actually have an introduction to Buck. And I know it's small, it really is, but like I said, the biggest glaring thing that is noticeable is just some of the perception problems that CGI is liable to have. But despite all that, it really is a lovely movie. It has a great soundtrack. The cinematography is just stunning, and of course I know a lot of it's green screen, but it kind of makes me wonder if indeed they did go up to Alaska and film, because the Northern Lights looked real. I've never seen Northern Lights, but I've always wanted to, and it just the awe, the wonder, just the majesty of that takes your breath away. And just the different scenes themselves with the discovery and how Buck comes to know his place, and it's just really quite wonderful, and I highly recommend. It's just basically a finding yourself. Oh, actually, I should say finding yourself. Becoming comfortable in your own skin, going outside your comfort zone. There are different stories that take place, and it runs the gamut. And plus, it also deals with loss, and it's death and rebirth. It's the cycle. It's all about how nature really works, and just how spectacular nature truly is. And it is the adventure itself, I think, was what made this movie so wonderful. I can't say that much else about it other than I loved it. I just adored it because Jack London has always been one of my favorite authors ever since I was a child. Just the way he describes different elements and how much attention he has to detail, and just his verbose way of really painting you a good picture. I think I like that. Plus this also deals with just the uncertainty of living in just such a Spartan area. I should say a Spartan, unforgiving area. But that's pretty much all I have to say about Call of the Wild. If you're a fan of Jack London, if you like the book, if you enjoy that kind of story, just for the effect itself of looking at Buck and his facial expression. I don't know what it was about that. I love that because there's just so much anthropomorphization, but it's done in such a way that, yeah, it makes sense, and it's absolutely magical. I adored it, but I can't say much else. So until next time, live on, prosper. Ciao, tutti.